What is going on, everybody? I know what you're thinking. Matt, it's Sunday. It's not Friday. Why are you uploading on Sunday and not Friday? Well, unfortunately, I had a little bit of computer issues with the last upload, and I couldn't get it fixed until today. But nonetheless, it is fixed today, and I am bringing this upload to you on a Sunday. So hopefully, you guys will get a double upload tomorrow too, depending on how work goes. Tomorrow might be a long day, so I'll get it done. I'll get an upload up tomorrow. So today's video is going to be about a question that I am more than frequently asked. I'm asked constantly by tuning shops, by you guys, by random people at car meets. Everybody wants to know why I chose an N55 instead of an N54 for my 1 Series. Yep. There it is. In case you guys watching didn't know, this is an N55 single dual scroll turbo, not an N54 true twin turbo. So, what I'm constantly asked is, Matt, why did you buy that instead of an N54? N54 this is so much better, so much power, very fast. You know, much fast, very speed. N54, forged crank, oh my god, forged crank, bruh, N54, bruh. New 2JZ, bruh. The short answer to why I chose an N55 over an N54 is more of the model of the car, not so much the engine. When I was looking at 1 Series to buy, I was looking at a 2010 for a while, and when I was searching for that 2010, what ended up happening was, as I set up an appointment to go check the car out in person, just so happened that I decided I was going to look just to see what else was in the area, just because I was going all the way across town to look at it, and then I saw a 135 IS for sale. This one. I had no idea what the IS meant or anything like that. I mean, it looked completely different on the interior. It didn't have all the, like, you know, the little navigation screen. It wasn't like the premium tech package that the 2010 was. But I was a little bit more familiar with the N54 because I had researched it a little bit, and I was content at that moment with, okay, I'll buy an N54, and these are the problems I should look for, and like this was just going to be okay with the car there. The 2010 I was looking at had 48,000 miles on it, if I remember correctly, and was for sale for $21,000. I know it's a bit much for a 2010, but it was in the budget, and it looked pretty good. It was well maintained, good, nice and taken care of, had nice aftermarket wheels on it and stuff. So I was looking at resale value then. Every time I look at any car, I look at resale value. After I've decided on the car that I want to buy, and I'm still looking, and I'm like, okay, I want to buy this car, I look at resale value just to see, you know, in 1 year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, what can I expect to get back out of this car? And if it's nowhere near what I paid for it, which the 2010, let's just say in about a year I've put almost 10,000 miles on this car. I don't really drive that far very often, so about 10,000 more miles on a 2010 N54 would probably, my trade value, because trade value would probably be right around 13 grand for that. And it was a loss that I was like, you know what, I'm willing to take this loss and just do it. But I saw the IS, and I was just like, well, let's see what this is. Finding out that the IS is an incredibly rare 135i. You know, it's rarer than most. I hear a lot of people say that they made less ISs than they did the actual 1M coupe. Don't quote me on that. I just hear it from people. Every car meet I go to, all people can talk about is, oh my god, that's like one of the rarest cars. You know, I've never seen one in person. Holy crap, is it real? And all this other stuff. And I'm like, yeah, it was for sale. Like, I didn't think anything of it when I saw it. I was like, cool. Then I read up on the N55. You know, it's a little bit newer than an N54 engine, and not a lot of people have explored the tuning capabilities of these. You know, most people are getting 600 wheel horsepower out of them before they're blowing motors, and there's just not a whole lot of research out there on the potential of these engines, really. So I thought, you know, it's gonna be a daily driver. It's gonna be something that I want more than stock power, but I don't want to blow my motor up because this is my only car, and that's just direction I want to go with it. That's what I'm going to be using the car for. So an N54, knowing that you can get 800, 900 horsepower out of them, single turbo monsters, knowing me and the power and everything that I like in a car, I know for a fact that an N54 would have destroyed my wallet even more than this thing has, and I would have wanted the most fast, craziest one out there. So upon looking up resale values of the IS, they're much better. It is a much, like I said, rarer car than your standard N55 or standard N54. The IS has a bunch of upgraded parts. I've got, you know, upgraded cooling systems, upgraded oil coolers, upgraded suspension bits. It's got a shorter throw shifter than most. It's just got a bunch of random stuff thrown at it that makes it better than your average 135i. Now, I'm not going to debate whether I think an N54 and N55 is better in this video, because that's going to be in a video coming up. But for my specific uses and needs for the car, it's just better for me. And like I said, resale value is better. I've had this car appraised a couple of times now, looking at just different cars, you know, Corvettes, all the other things that have piqued my interest, and I just like to go in and see real numbers at dealerships, what they're willing to give me. So I've gone to a couple now, like I said. I was just actually at a dealership yesterday and had it appraised just for shits and giggles, you know, why not? Saw a nice car there and was like, hey, appraise my car, what do you give me for it? For this car, brand new, I paid $24,980. $24,980 for this car is exactly what my receipt before I looked at the video says. I kept thinking it was 25. We can just round it up to 25. This car here has appraised at 4 different dealerships in the last month at a $21,700 trade-in value. I mean, that is not bad for, you know, that's not bad. That's not bad at all. If I would have bought the $21,000 N54, I would have been out of my ass trying to trade that in for anything, because most people would give me 13 to 15 grand depending on allowance and incentives and things like that. So that is going to be one of the zoom in here. That's going to be one of the overall, you know, reasons that I ended up buying this car instead of an N54. It's the fact that it's a little bit more rare, the resale value is a little bit better with them, and you know, it's just not really well known. A lot of people, the novelty of it is really great. And I have a really good spec of 135 IS. I'll show you guys around the car, because I really haven't done like an actual car tour. I don't know how you say that. I've been made fun of for calling it tour, because people are like, it's tour. Man, tomato. So, this is going to be my spec of the 135 IS. So, coming around here, in typical IS fashion, I have the IS 18-inch wheels with the 6-piston Brembos. You know, the Brembos, or BMW performance brakes, come standard on the 135. The IS comes with these IS lightweight BMW performance wheels. They've got M badges and all the other I'm a performance BMW person, you know. Those are the wheels. That's one of the very first things that you can tell about it being an IS, is having IS spec wheels. A lot of people will recognize those. Coming back around, we've got, as you guys see, the LCI taillights, the 135 IS badge, and the 135 IS comes with the BMW performance exhaust, which is it's only, I believe it's only got 1 cat in the system, maybe 2. But I think it's only 1. I think there's only 1 cat on this system, and it's got like better mid pipes and everything. To be completely honest, the N55, in my opinion, sounds worlds better than an N54. An N54 is kind of like an E46, you know, like the S54, where they kind of sound like a little bit of a rattle can, except for Neiman 135i or clean wheel horsepower. His N54 sounds really, really good, but I still like mine much better. I mean, catless downpipes and a little bit more of a flowy exhaust is going to make this car sound like a monster. But that's another part of the IS package that comes on the car. I did have like this weird spoiler on it that didn't come all the way to the end. It stopped like right here and just left like an inch of trunk, and that looked like crap, so I took it off. Coming in over to the interior of my car, what I liked more about it and what makes it a more desirable package, and was definitely more desirable to me, was the blue stitching on the seats. The ISs all have blue stitching. That's another reason that you can tell right away that you're driving or you're looking at a BMW 135 IS, is the fact that there's blue stitching on the seats. And that's the only thing in the entire car that has blue stitching on it. Don't ask me why, but I like it. Another thing coming around to the car is, as you'll notice, it is basically a base model. I mean, I got the upgraded leather, and that is it. That's all I have. I don't have the Harman Kardon stereo. I don't have like the little nav screen or the little iDrive or anything else. It's completely bare bones, you know. It's focused on driving, and that's exactly what I was looking for. I was coming from a BRZ to this, so that car was pretty focused on driving. Everything about that car sucked complete ass, besides the way that it felt when you were driving it. So, coming from that, I wanted something that would feel similar but had more power to it. So, not having all the touchscreens and everything else was definitely a plus. I really don't like touchscreens in cars that much anymore, especially sports cars, because with a little bit stiffer suspension, when you're feeling all the bumps and stuff in the road, unless you have something to brace your hand against to touch on the touchscreen, you're literally trying to touch it and you hit a bump and your finger's doing this, and you can't actually touch what you want to touch. And in my old GTI and in the Subaru, I can't tell you how many times I went to change music and hit a bump and hit something I didn't want to touch, and now I'm messing with the screen for 15 minutes because, you know, touch screen in a sports car, like what the hell. But that's basically the interior. I've got the sunroof edition too. I have a sunroof. That's a cool option there. You know, why not? Sunroof. Something else that I noticed about the car that is different than most, maybe not so different, but it's pretty different, is it? What is that? What is this? How are you under my trunk like that? Like, how did you fall? Well, like I said, another thing that I find different about my trunk compared to a lot of other 135i's that I've seen is a lot of people's battery is like right there. Like every person I talk to, they open their 135i, whether it be in a 2011 N55 or a 2000, I don't know, like an N54, their battery's right there. But as you guys can see, my mega super ultimate fat ass battery is right here. And it, I guess, adds to the whole near 50-50 weight distribution of this car. But I just kind of thought that was weird. Like, a lot of people tended to delete this trunk pan thing here, this big plastic thing that's really heavy and adds a lot of weight to the back. I thought about doing that, but where would I put this hulking, gigantic thing? Like, that seems like way too much of a headache to move that just to have a better flowing exhaust. I kind of like the thought of like dual quads or anything, but I'm getting off topic here. But yeah, I just thought that was a little interesting. I don't see very many 1 Series with the battery where mine is placed. So, this is going to be concluding this episode of why I chose an N55 instead of an N54. Just a general overview, just a consensus. I chose this N55 over an N54 because of the spec, you know, because of the car that it was, the fact that it's an IS, the fact that it's more rare, the fact that it has better resale value, and the fact that it's just, you know, not a lot of people know a whole lot about them, which I think is super interesting. You know, I really like the novelty of not a whole lot of people knowing about the 135 IS and just the IS package in general. So I'm happy with my decision. I'm glad that I went with an N55 over an N54 for those reasons. Like I said, if I was going for straight up power and performance, I would probably have went with an N54. strictly because of the tunability and it's more of a proven platform. But the fact that the N55 is still a little bit unknown and people are still experimenting with bigger horsepower figures, you know, like, it intrigues me a little bit, because what if in a year or two down the line, all the M2s and stuff with the N55 in them, what if they start pulling 1,000 horsepower out of them, or something like that, and I've got an N55, then, you know, it'll be cool. I don't know. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Do you guys think I did good choosing this IS N55 over the N54 I was looking at? I think price-wise and resale value-wise, I make a strong argument for myself for choosing this over that N54. Performance-wise, like I said, it's a little unknown to me. It could be a bunch of things. But this is going to end today's episode. You know, it was just short, sweet, to the point, talking about, you know, questions that I get asked a million times. If you guys have any more questions that you guys would like a video about, more in-depth talk about, let me know. You know, I'm more than happy to answer you guys' questions as in-depth as possible as I can. But until next time, I will see you guys later.